Hello, and welcome to Now You Hear Me, the podcast that gives a voice to musicians across cultures. I'm your host, Martha Bechubiza. Today, we're back with a new episode with Joyce Olong, a wonderful Nigerian artist who I found on Instagram. Spotify Africa was highlighting her as their Equal Artist of the Month. I went to go look her up, listened to her album, and almost immediately DM'd her saying, please be on my podcast. And she said yes. She is such a talented singer, songwriter, and producer, and her music very much feels like soft life. You are on an island with someone you love, dancing, relaxing, having a good time. I can't stop listening to this album. We talked about it. It's called SOSEO. We also talked about files that she had lost when she was working on a previous project, a bunch of songs that just disappeared. We talked about the music community in Lagos and so much more. So before you go listen to SOSEO, which I know you're going to love, listen to this episode. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Now You Hear Me. Today we welcome Joyce Olong.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I wanted to talk about just kind of the beginnings of your creative journey and your experience with music. I saw somewhere that you've kind of known since you were a young child that this was the thing for you. And so I'm wondering what that felt like for you as a child and like what you were listening to growing up.
It was very interesting. Yeah, I had a very interesting musical upbringing and or musical environment. And I think I started writing or making music at 7. That's when I was really conscious, like, oh, I put my pen to paper to say, oh, I want to write a song. I'm really, whatever emotion I was feeling at that time, I was like, I want to put it down into a song. And I was really 7. It's really something about being friends. And I was like, yeah, I think about it from time to time. It's like, I can't believe you wrote that. But yeah, and I grew up in a musical house. My mom listens to a bunch of artists, like Celine Dion, Shania Twain, like Harry Belafonte. I just grew up around a lot of interesting music. My dad would listen to reggae, Gregorian chants, because we grew up Catholic, so a lot of chants and poems and yeah, Arabic music too. Just we're very blessed musically, just with sound. Yeah, so I've been around music for a while now.
And you started off producing, or I mean, you started off writing, as you said. How did you get into producing?
Into producing, I think I did the informal thing, with your desktop computer and your so my dad got us a piano at 10. So
Mhm.
I was like, how do I go from this piano to like a USB? I don't know how to do that because we had floppy disk at that time. So I got from the piano and then I found out you could record on Windows Movie Maker. So I'll go use Windows Movie Maker and record, and then I'll bring in my siblings and I'm like, okay, so you do this backup and you do that backup, and then we sing together and then I'll put it together. I was like, this is pretty cool. So, and then after we do that, my mom will be like, so song that I was hearing you people sing, please come downstairs and play it for me. And then she'll listen to whatever we were making. I don't know. And so like I was producing from there, I think then, but then formally with my laptop, um, probably 7 years later, I think I was 17, and I told a friend, oh, I want to start producing. And they were like, oh, you should check out this girl, Lady Donley. I think she's around, like, I think you'll know her, but she's in the UK. I was like, send me her stuff. I don't know her. And then they sent to me, and I kept on listening. And I was like, oh, she's with Tay, she knows all these guys. Cool. And then I started listening to what they were making. And from there, I said I'm going to do my homework and I'll spend so much time on my laptop producing. From there, the rest is history.
Wow, that's really cool. I love that you kind of, started this at home and with family almost. It's like hearing you
Mhm.
describe that. It's almost as if you were like a musical director at that time without even realizing it and being like, okay, you do this. And like you had a vision that you were able to practice within, a safe space. And it's really cool that
Yeah.
that your mom was really supportive of that too and was like, yeah, show me what you're doing, you know?
Yes.
You've
Yes.
also discussed being kind of quiet and a bit of a fly on the wall. And I think part of what you described in terms of like watching Lady Donnelly and what she was doing and everything is, very, I think there's a lot of expertise and like mastery that comes with being a fly on the wall, honestly, because you're able to watch so many people and become a sponge and then be able to take everything that you've learned and try it out in your own way. But also, just generally the creation of music also is just such a vulnerable thing, even for people who aren't necessarily like the quiet ones or whatever. So how did you even like get that courage to like start to share all of this?
In my head, I felt that if these guys like can do it, I think I can see how did they get to be, because I always thought if you're able to make something and talk, you're very courageous. You would never catch me giving a speech in school or coming in front
Hmm.
of the class and saying, so guys, please keep quiet. Everybody make noise. Like, do whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do. But then I started seeing like, head girls, social, like our prefects, like our every year they pick but then I started seeing the quiet people become head girls. And I was like, oh, but she doesn't say a word. But then the school picks whoever they think has the best temperament or is able to be calm in situations. So I always watched those girls. And then my dad is very similar. He's very stoic. He's a very intense and sturdy guy. So
Mm.
I think maybe I just have that natural energy, because even when I meet other people outside, they're like, ah, guy, you're very intense. So, and I was like, I was just sitting down. Like, and so from there, I realized if you're able to notice all these things in people, then you're able to imitate until it becomes real. I've always wanted to be courageous. Like being quiet is just something that I am, or being able to share, it's courage. And that's all I always ask for, that I'm courageous, not afraid. Yeah.
I honestly do think that sometimes the quietest people are the ones that are the most powerful. So that was such an interesting thing for you to observe in school and thinking like, oh, okay, it's not just the talkative people who, rise to certain leadership positions or whatever it is. I also think that quiet people, when they do have something to say, I feel like, at least for me, I tend to take it more seriously and like, some I don't know, there's a lot of people in my life who are kind of the quiet ones, but they have
Yeah.
so much within them. And also sometimes I feel like it's about selectivity too. It's like not everybody gets to get access to what's in your brain, you know?
Exactly. 100%. 100%.
Who were some of these people that you were kind of watching and imitating aside from Lady Donnelly?
I used to watch Odunsi. I really liked the sound. I used to watch Tim Larry, like anything Tim Larry puts out, I listen, I'm like, ah, I'm very sure he produced this. How did he do this? And then I watch him perform. I watch let's see, a bunch of people. I started going to studios, and there's this guy called Andre Vibes. He's the fellow that produced Calm Down for Rema.
Mm,
So we'll go to the studio and then I watch his process. It starts off as nothing. And then from there, he leaves the room, comes back inside and does like a little dance and then adds a few things. And then he's like, okay, guys, I think this is the one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then
wow.
then you go out and come back again and be like, oh wow, okay, this is cool. And I saw a lot of them trusted themselves. They didn't doubt like, oh, I don't think this is nah, nah, nah. Even as you're watching their process, even if you notice that little uncertainty, they always find a way to be like, nah, nah, nah. It's only me that's in this room and I have to do my best. So these are the people I watch. And Teiwa also.
It's really cool to watch people who are so sure of themselves and know their creative process so well. And also one of my favorite things about just like being creative is just the fact that like you said, you start with nothing, or you start with maybe just like a little seedling of an idea, and then you end up with this product, and like you can go to the studio and have no clue what is going to come out of you by the end of the day, you know?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's very magical. It's very, very magical. Yeah.
I feel like a lot
It
of
is. I
creatives.
think musicians and magicians.
Yes. Yes. No, absolutely. Absolutely. I talk about this a lot and have talked about it with some of guests on the podcast of also like
Mhm.
just the fact that creativity, it's part of it is there's a piece of it that's showing up, every day or whatever to do the work, but there's also a piece of it that like you just can't describe and something that just flows through you.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
What is kind of like the music community and are you based in Lagos? I'm assuming.
Yes, I'm based in Lagos. Yes.
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of really, really great music that comes out of there. So how have you been able to find your creative community in Lagos?
Honestly, in Lagos, it has actually been beautiful. Everybody is trying to create a space for themselves and other people like them. So
Mm,
it's not a lonely community. Everybody is trying to collaborate, be present, and just show up for the other person. And we're learning from ourselves, trying to just connect because we realize we're doing this on our own at the end of the day in some way. So the little communities that we have, it's a very big and interesting community. Like there's everything is here. We have the rock community, we have Afrobeat community, we have the R&B, we have we have ooh, we also have like the ambient community, just people working with sound and lights and just it's very, very nice. And a lot of people are doing things like out of pockets to just give people voices. So it's very interesting. It's very alive at the end of the day. It's very alive.
being a woman in music can be tough, and I think there aren't that many of us sometimes in these spaces, and especially as a woman producer as well. I think those are some of like the slimmest numbers um, in the music
Mhm.
industry in terms of women who are in that space. What is that like in Lagos? Like of the creatives that you meet, are a lot of the women that you meet um, like also producers? Are they artists? Are they songwriters? Yeah, what's like the producer community like amongst women?
I'm not going to say too much on the producer community, but I have met a lot of female producers
Mm,
in the past couple years because I was always inside, but I started coming outside of my wherever I was in 2023. Because for 2020 to 2022, I was just working like in let's say corporate, but media corporates, I was just like
mm,
mixing podcasts and like recording. So when I
mm,
got back into production with other people, I started meeting a lot of women producers. Just a couple months, this is June, probably at the end of April. Yes, I did a camp with some female producers. Um, Yes, and they're doing great things. There's Dooney, there is Sazi, there is Bots, there's Kezia Malam, uh, there's a bunch of ladies that, yeah, they're just trying to get their foot in with one beat at a time. Yes, but it's a community that is coming together now.
Speaking of being a woman in music, the way that I found you actually was last month via the Spotify Africa Instagram for their Equal program. So I saw them posting about you.
Yes,
How did that feel to be honored in that way?
it was amazing. They showed crazy support when I released my project. Just they were just like, "Oh, hi, we're seeing you," and I was like, ah, "Okay, cool. That's very nice. I appreciate that." Like it was really cool, and they were I don't know how to explain it, but it just feels good to be seen. To be seen is to be loved, yeah. And if they like what you're doing, that means you're doing a good job. So I was very happy for the support. I mean, I've been to a bunch of Spotify workshops, just listening and looking at their the way they're trying to get their programs up and how they try to support local artists. So I thought that really made my head swell. So I really like that.
I was just really grateful to see that post because then I immediately went to listen to your album and was like, wow, I need to talk to this girl ASAP. So yeah, I mean, let's talk about the album. So Seo, what does that mean?
SOSEO is the first heat that comes before the summer. So I was looking for something that said bloom, and I noticed that my last project I put out, it wasn't in English. It was like in French when I was young, all the way like 2017. So I was trying to say thank you, beautiful, but I didn't want to say thank you, beautiful. So I was like, Merci Beauty. Okay, cool. Thank you, beautiful. So now I wanted something warm, like it's something like if a flower bloomed in a dark room, like would you trust it kind of phrase. I was trying to
Mm,
make something out of that. So like the first harvest, and the first harvest, everyone's like, oh, where did you come from? You've been inside since like inside is where you, or in the dark is where you are able to transform. And sometimes it's hot over there too. So I was just looking for something that said bloom. So spring bloom, first heat before the summer.
what was the kind of process in the creation of this album? I know that you had previously lost some files that you had worked on for a previous project, which I'm sure maybe delayed um, the release of this one.
Yes, that other one that I lost, my goodness, it was just so crazy. I was like, oh my God, this is such good work. And I bust my ass. So like when it's went away, I was like, no, 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 this is not real. How will I get this back? But I was like, what if it's not about getting it back, but
Mm.
being able to, so such a test, being able to have those, you know how they say, have those mature conversations. Because I wouldn't confront you. I'd be like, okay, so you knew what you were doing, and I go. And but then like for this one, the universe was like, I think you need to go back there
Mm.
and be able to, I don't know, like sift out from the hurt or from the dark and bring those into light. That's where your courage will come from, I guess. And your, yeah, I think that's where your courage will come from. You will not be afraid to talk about the things that you have loved and lost. So I was like, okay, I go back and Suseo, the whole process actually, it took 5 months, I think, or
Mm.
less. Yes, 5 months or less. I started making the album with What Would You Do? Yeah, What Would You Do is why I started making
That is my
it.
favorite song. I've been sending that to everybody. Like it's so good.
Oh my, thank you. Thank you so much. Like that's where it actually started from. And after I made it, I didn't say anything. And then I was in the car with my friend, with my best friend, and he was like, ah, he was like, he's been talking to Bien from Sauti Soul, and
Mm.
he thinks that he wants to write a song for him. And in that moment, I was like, something strange happened and I just made Fool Me Once. Like when I went home, I did Fool Me Once. And I was like, this would be good for BN. I didn't think it would be for myself, but I was like, after I realized, I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep it for myself.
Yeah.
So later on, I'll write to BN a song, but for now, this is my baby. So I kept Fool Me Once, and what was the other one? Yeah, so that's how it started, like for this project. Then I had to go back to Disappear. Disappear was the last thing we added. That's why it's the bonus track. It was the last thing we added because that was the first song that I brought out. It came magically. But like the hope, it was a very intense process actually, just the picking of the music, arranging it, and Yeah. It was also very spiritual and inspirational, like at the end of the day. Yeah. It was a whole journey to say.
I have a lot of responses to everything that you just said. I mean, first, no, I have so much to say. First, um, I feel like I cannot imagine, honestly, how traumatic it must have been to lose all of those files. And
Yes.
I'm sure that it taught you a lot of resilience. What were some of the other lessons that you feel like you learned in this album process?
Trust and surrender. Um, I don't know. For some reason, I finally was able to accept that I like to control some situations, especially if it's my own stuff. So, and I was told this like probably 2018, but I was like, what do you mean? But it's my stuff. I mean, I was supposed to control it, like, or the outcome. But like, how'd you say it? 5 years later, my friend is like, when he was like, Joyce, this disappear that you're going to release. Trust that we are going to do this thing very well. Just trust me that that's whatever project you're going to do is going to be beautiful. And in my mind, I was like, I don't know. I don't know. But then he was like,
Yeah.
yeah, you can do this. Like, I know so many things have happened, but it's life and we learn from it. But you're stronger if you can confront this. It was just about confrontation and trusting
Hmm.
like this. And deep down, I was like, yes, it's time for you to surrender. You've done the work. Let somebody help you polish. Or if you're not so good at wrapping packages, there's people that do that and they do it very well. So
Totally.
give your friend, yeah, to wrap the package. Yeah, that's trust and surrender. Like that's why, like, wait, can I say this here? I don't know. When I started smoking, my friend was like, this thing that you're doing, it's about yielding. You're yielding to the universe with these herbs. And I was like, oh, really? He was like, you're yielding because you're not in control of everything again.
Hmm.
You're ready to receive. So if you can do that, there's no reason why you cannot surrender for something that you believe in. So I was like, okay. One angle. That's an angle. So yeah.
No, that's probably honestly one of the most important life lessons, I feel. So I'm glad that you had
Yeah.
this experience to help to teach you that. Um,
Yes.
Another thing I wanted to talk about is what would you do? Because I love that song so much. And it is so just like sexy and wonderful. Tell me
Yes.
about that song.
Oh wow. So I actually made the song in this room because it was like
Mm.
1 a.m. and they had just brought the lights and I was just so mad. I was like, what do you mean there's no electricity from like the whole day? And then in the night when I'm not doing anything, there's light. I was like, nah. Let me put this remaining energy to use. And it started with the little chords and I was into a lot of dub at that time. A lot of dub like yeah, a lot of dub music like choo 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 choo. So with what would you do? I wanted to make something psychedelic R&B, but with also like Afro and some reggaeton inside. But with all this combination, it's still very soft. Like just it's slow wine. I wanted it to feel like a waist bead. Like when you touch it, how does
Yeah.
it feel like? That's what I was trying to achieve for what would you do? Yeah, that's yeah. Oh my, yeah, I like that
You
song. It's,
achieved
it's, it's actually
it.
cool. Yeah,
Also, Fool Me Once, another favorite of mine. Tell me about that. Who fooled
thank
you?
you.
Did it only
Oh my
happen
God.
once?
I mean, you have to be a little bit foolish in love sometimes. But for this one, thankfully, is not all my story. It's
Hmm.
mine and my friend's story. Yeah, so I told her that I was going to write about this, and she was like, "Girl, okay, just run me my check later on." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "No problem, no
I
problem.
love
I'm
that.
running your check." Yeah. It's just you know how. know, you just meet someone and you're like, wow, you're just so, you can never do anything wrong. And then they do something wrong. You're like, oh, okay, okay, okay. Let me just,
Actually,
and then do it again. And you're like, it's just like, because fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Ah, it's a big shame. So I need to find where
yeah.
I can, you know,
It's like, oh,
where
this is
I
starting to
can
get
be able to show my
embarrassing.
face. Too much, too much. I was like, yeah, if you fool me once, you can't fool me again. It's just learning from your lessons. Just it happens. First time lovers are always in that situation. So if just being able to get out of something toxic, that's where fool me once came from. Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh, another classic. Love that song.
Thank you.
Um, you said that you like want your music to be thought of as like kind of what you're describing, something soft, something like a warm, safe place, something to start your day in a nice way or end your day in a nice way. Who or what in your life does that for you?
Wow, my lover, first of all, good way to start my day, a good way to end my day, even though I always fall asleep before saying good night, but it's a good way to start and end my day. Um, my family, I have a lot of love and care around me, and and I do not take it for granted. I actually do have a lot of love and care around me. So that's what made me, because there's no reason to be all like, you know, I don't know. We say gra gra here. There's no need to do all that tough push and pull when you're always being pacified and taken care of. Like everyone's like, oh, is your skin okay? Are your hands fine? I'm just like, if you're doing that to me in real life, then I want to show the world that this is what I experience on a daily basis. I don't know how to say it, but this is how it sounds like to me. So here it
Hmm.
is. And thank you guys. Yeah. So everything around me is actually really soft. Apart from if I step out of this house and I go into Lagos world,
Yeah, that part you can't control.
Lagos world is insane. But once I get to my destination, sweet vibes, sweet vibes. Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah.
I love it. Um, your last
Yeah.
project was dedicated to the women in your life. If you could dedicate this album to something, someone, what would that be?
Oh, still women in my life. And a few guys to just say, man, this is just how life is. Well, I really sing from the point of the feminine because I'm a woman and that's the energy I tap into mostly. So, and musically, it feels purple, lilac, lavender. And I just, wait, oh my God, so sorry. I think I forgot my my question and answer.
Oh no, all good. Yeah, just like who would you dedicate this to? But you answer to still to the
Yeah,
women in your
women,
life.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. On that subject, the last question that I like to ask people is, and you've mentioned a lot of names within this podcast, but if there's anybody else, who are some of the women musicians that are currently inspiring you, potentially in Nigeria or elsewhere around the world? Just anyone you want to shout out.
So I have been listening to Baba J. She's from Ghana.
Mm,
In Nigeria here, I have my R&B girlies like Dami Oniru.
okay.
I have Lady Dawn. I think at this point I'm low-key obsessed with what Lady Dawn is putting out. I just
Love.
like the drums, the melody. So I think I have a soft spot for her. Keep on Loving Me is very, very nice. So I've had that on replay. So far, those are voices that I revere. Yes, those are voices I revere, like from my age range. All over, it's a wide range. If you say Asha and all these other ladies that do music here. So I'm a fan. I'm actually a fan.
Love. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I've had so much fun. Um,
Yes.
where can everybody find you online?
Online, you can find me on Instagram, Joyce Olong, just the full name. On Twitter, you can Joyce underscore Olong on Twitter. And you can find me on any streaming platform. If you want to watch some of my videos, I just put some stuff on YouTube. But yeah, I'm out here in the world thriving. Yes. Yeah.
Thriving. What are some of your plans for the rest of the year? Are you doing any shows? Are you planning to release anything else?
Yeah. Oh, after now, I'm actually going for a rehearsal in an hour. No, in a couple hours actually. I have to be on the road in an hour. Yeah, so go for rehearsal. I have a few features coming out with a couple artists. And what else? I just hope for great things, just great things and nice performances. I think the whole year I'm manifesting beautiful performances. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see
Yes, yes,
what you
yes.
do next, and I will be having your album on repeat all summer, honestly.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
It's
Martha.
the album
Thank
of
you.
the summer
Thank you.
for sure. I'm like, it's soft vibes. I want to be on a beach. I want to be by the pool. I want to be like moving my hips. I love it.
We're five-star babies. We're not supposed to be. We're supposed to live the soft life. Hence the
Soft
music.
life only. Soft life only.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, I love it. Wow. Well, thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who has listened. You can also find me online at Bet You Pizza, Betyu Pizza. Very silly. And more importantly, actually, the podcast account at Now You Hear Me Pod on Instagram and on TikTok. And yeah, thank you for listening.